Welcome everybody. I'd like to welcome you to this really sad but joyous occasion. We know that Kay is now not suffering anymore as she was. She's been released and gone into the wind where she wanted to be. Just get people coming in and then we'll start. Lovely, lovely. So, we've come to farewell Carl. I'm Kay. I'm nervous. I'm Sherry. I'm Kay's sister. And it's not very often you actually do a ceremony like this for your own family. We've got candles that I'd like to light as we go through, and Kay's grandchildren are going to light those candles. They represent the elements and the human spirit, and I'll talk a little bit about each one of those as we go through. And so the first candle I'd like to light is the candle that represents air. And I'd like Lily to come and light this candle for us. Not that one, but any of the others. That's lovely, thank you. I'm going to put it back, you might set everybody on fire. It'll be a trick Kay to play on us, wouldn't it? And so Kay, we breathe in the air you have breathed. Each breath we take is itself a cycle of birth, of death and rebirth. We inhale and life is born in us anew. One more time. We pause for a moment, filling ourselves with the breath of life, holding this simple, sacred breath in. And then we exhale. For one moment, we are empty. We are suspended between life and death. And then we inhale again and we are reborn. Such is life. Not for you anymore, our darling Kay. The cycle of breath is broken for you, and you have moved on. Shona, let's sit for a moment in silence. CL, can you come and light the candle that represents fire, please? You can use one of the matches I here if you want. Just light it on that one. Okay. Slide it along a bit, that's it. All of life depends upon fire, as we know, especially in Australia. The sun's radiation supports life on this amazing planet. Fire can transform what is seemingly solid into vapour and into ash. Fire unlocks the illusion of form. It pries atom from atom, changes the densest matter into energy, heat and light. That is what's happened for our darling Kay. You are now energy, heat and light, Kay, and you have discarded the illusion of form. Thank you, Shona. Digby, can you come forward and light the candle that represents water? And you might need a new one. Well done. Life is born from water, as we all know. Ocean water was the womb of life for this planet. Every drop of water on this amazing planet is connected and is part of the larger flow, the continued transformation from wave to vapour to drop to stream, and like us, it has its own cycle. Such is life. From the moment we are born, we are flowing toward death. Death is as natural as the vapour in the clouds forming the raindrops, spilling over to nurture the earth, filling the streams and rivers, and rejoining the great oceans once again. Kay, you have flowed from life to death, and you have reconnected with it. In the fullness of time, you will be reborn and flow toward life once again. Sophie, can you light the candle that represents Earth, please? We are made of the body of the earth. Our bones and flesh are composed of minerals suspended in water, infused by air, animated by fire. Gravity pulls our bodies into the embrace of the earth and reminds us that we are physical beings in the form of our bodies. Kay, precious being, you were created out of these minerals, dust and clay. You were limited by gravity, and you are no longer. Your body has returned to the elements, and your sacred spirit is free. Shona. Give a big bang on it, Shona, so we can all just reflect. That's how it is with the cycle of life. Air, fire, water, and earth. This is what makes us unique and sacred. As human beings, each one of us created differently. And so now we celebrate and acknowledge the fifth most sacred thing, the fifth most sacred aspect in this life, and that is the human spirit. And so I'm going to ask Corey to come up and light your candle, Kay. Thanks, Corey. We light this candle to celebrate you, our Kay, the beautiful energy you were. And we acknowledge you, the beautiful person you were to us all. And you see, I'm allowed to cry too, because I'm just the same. So acknowledging you, our sweet, precious Kay. You were born on the 29th of May, 1945. Not the 28th of May, as we were all led to believe. Brother Danny, who has died also, was born on the 28th of May. And so Mum decided to have both birthdays together. She was a hard-working mum and she couldn't take 2 days out to celebrate them both. And so you were the second precious wee daughter of Ruby and Bob Weinberg, and the third of 5 children. That place in the family shaped who you were as a peacemaker, a soother of troubled waters for the rest of your life. You were shaped also by your life on the farm, or should I say two farms, Dovedale and Waikaka. But particularly Waikaka, which you love dearly and would have taken over had it been at all possible. The sale of Waikaka that we all worked so hard on and that you were employed on by our father to work after you first and flatly. You all know Kay, or you wouldn't be here. When she turned 15, she came home because it was the May school holidays, and she flatly refused to go back. Nothing Mum and Dad could say would make her go back to New Plymouth Girls High. So she was employed to work on the farm as a farmhand with Dad. What a childhood we had, and I know that there's going to be other things said about our childhood, but what a childhood we had. You, Dan and I got into all sorts of trouble, which resulted in all sorts of thrashings. It's amazing we survived the trouble we got into, let alone the thrashings that we actually got. Because we got into real trouble, not just little trouble. Hear that, kids? We three girls, Gail, you and I, were known in the valley as the Weinberg girls, and were close as sisters. Although Gail was known to bully us unmercifully at times if she didn't get her own way. So funny. You were wonderfully and quietly courageous, and when you became pregnant, after a wild night out in the metropolis of Greymouth, and if any of you know New Zealand, Greymouth is about the quietest metropolis anybody could find, you got pregnant with Dean. You didn't do, Kay, what girls did in those days. You proudly walked around Cambridge with your burgeoning valley for all the folks to see, and you walked with your head held high, which was absolutely wonderful, and gave us all an example to follow. People actually didn't know which way to look, because in those days we're going back a fair way. Aren't we? You know, it was kind of a miracle. And we don't talk about those sort of miracles much these days, do we? But it was a miracle, and we have our Dean as that miracle. I really admired you, darling. After Dad had his accident and he climbed in his wheelchair for the rest of his life, you were his mainstay. I'm not sure how voluntary it was, but you did everything with such a wonderful way, and full of courage, and full of love, and full of support. Well, Dad abused all that because he had Kay running down to the TAB about every hour, so every race he could bet on. So Kay was whizzing backward and forward from the TAB on Saturdays like a little yo-yo. And then you met your Tim. You married quickly, had Tan, then Jane. Then you all buggered off to Australia. Naughty, naughty.
We only came for a fortnight.
So we were all living in hope that Tim came over here with Kay and the kids to make their fortune and come home and we'd all be family again, and they never came home. Such is the pull of Australia, and I know that also 13 years later. You loved your children, Dean, Tanya and Javen, with passion. They were your life, and you gave them yours in everything you did, and they're going to miss you dreadfully, just as your lovely grandies and great-grandies will. But I'm sure, and I've seen over these last months and years, the love that you poured into them being returned tenfold, sweetheart. What a mum you were. So I'd really like to stop talking and have a drink and invite anybody to come up and speak as you wish. So, and if you don't, we'll just sit and we'll remember our Kay.
Well, hello everybody. Thanks very much for coming to start with. Yeah, it's great to see faces, old, new, everyone, all here to celebrate the life of Mum, and you know, she was very special to every one of us. She just loved all the family so much. She loved the grandkids, the brothers, the sisters, and all of the friends. She put so much into her love for everyone. And I've actually got a little bit to say, but I'm actually just going to start with a poem that I found in the cupboard. That was written quite a few years ago by some very good friends of ours, Joan and Granville Pitt. They lived around the corner, and we haven't seen them for a long time, and I've tried to get in contact with them, but Granville, yeah, they were very good friends, and yeah, I'm just going to start with this poem. Probably really need glasses here, but this is what Granville Pitt wrote. It was around about the mid-90s. A day in the working lives of Tim and Kay Henry. Hey Kay, chuck me up the spanner, chuck me up the wrench. Not the multi-bricks, my dear. What's the matter with you, pinch? Grab that bag of nuts and bolts. Now mix the concrete, mate. Shift the truck from over there and close the bloody gate. Anchor down that pole. Hold the windmill steady, girl. Move the planks. Give them a shove. Now give the fan a whirl. What's the matter with you, woman? Getting tired, feeling worn? You've never had it so bloody good since that day you were born. Don't worry about the sweat that's running in your eyes. That thing only weighs a ton. Hey, brush away the flies. We started very early, before the rising sun. You only work for 16 hours. Now the day is nearly done. We'll soon be home. It won't be long. Then you can have a break. Do this morning's dishes. Cook the tea and bake a cake. I'm going to put your feet up, love. It's been a hectic day. You better do the ironing before we get the hay. Do you feel like making whoopee? Now we're alone at last. Hey Kay, wake up. Shit, she's gone to sleep. She's snoring, breathing fast. Some people just don't realise how lucky they can be to have a job like she's got and the chance to work with me. That was, yeah, Granville Pitts, and he knew Mum and Dad well. And Mum was a real worker. I mean, she outworked any of us, and she enjoyed it. She loved to be outside working, and I'm not sure if she particularly liked windmills after doing 4 years climbing a windmill tower and hanging off it. But yeah, she was a very special woman, our mother, and it's going to be really hard in the future not to have her there and to have her hold us and everything. But yeah, we're going to miss her. So I do have some more poems I'd like to read, and some messages from my other aunt, my Auntie Gail, who's hopefully watching this. Hello, Auntie Gail. Yeah, but I might give someone else a chance. What's that, sorry?
Should we say g'day, Jay?
G'day, Jay. But I might give someone else a chance to have a message or something, or a talk if they'd like to, and everyone just take your time, and yeah, we can have a moment if we want, just to wait. And is there a PowerPoint presentation that will be on sometime, or?
Up there, it'll come on after.
Okay. Oh, no worries. So, yeah, if someone else wants to have a word, they're welcome to. And if not,
We'll just sit and
we'll just sit for a while while I get through this message. You don't want to read that poem, do you? Yeah, no? Yep.
I haven't got anything prepared. I'm Kay's oldest brother, the oldest member of the family. We had a farm set back in the King Country, and you'll remember this because our number was 19K, and Mum and Dad used to go to the local school for housing or whatever it was, probably once a week, and the local phone was party line, and our number was 19K. And whenever the phone rang, it was long, short, long, and that was K. And she'd race up and answer the phone and get in the bloody way. So whenever whenever there's a problem, we had to ring the local school, and that, and the local school was 19S. And we all knew that the off bits were the phone. And then the phone rang long, short, long. Can't answer the phone. So I actually had to now. We're in one okay.
I'm okay. Yeah, like the
Thank you all for coming here today. Sorry, I'm gonna blubber because I miss my mum so much. You're all here because Mum meant something to all of you. And there's no way that she couldn't have meant something to you if you ever met Mum. She was such a precious person, and we lost her too quickly. It's been a very tough year for Jordan and I. But while we're telling stories about Mum, this photo here was taken when Mum came to visit me when we moved to Queensland. And the week leading up to Mum coming, and I had no idea she was coming to see me, I've been telling my kids, can you clean your room? Because it was my birthday. I said, it's my birthday on this particular day. I said, you kids better clean your room. Nana and Tina might come up and surprise us, you never know. And they're going, that'll never happen. And then this morning I'm getting the kids ready for school, I'm standing there doing the dishes, and I hear the gate shut and I look out at the window, and it's Mum. Who's come to see me, and we'll see us. And I just screamed, you're here. And she came up and spent the week with us. And that photo was taken, we were just going around a place called Kuranda up on the tablettes, just looking at places, and she stood in front of this orchid that grew wildly up there. And it wasn't until after we left and had a look at these photos and it's gone, oh my God, Mum, you match the orchids perfectly. It was amazing. And I mean, I've got so many stories to tell about Mum, and I'm sure every one of you do, because she was such a character. Yeah, I just don't even know where to go from here as far as telling stories, because there are so many. But Mum loved all of her kids so much.
Yes, she does.
And her grandkids.
And her great-grandkids.
And her grandkids. Yeah, she did forget their names at the end, but that's okay. She forgot your names too, and she forgot hers. But my three kids spent so much of their young childhood with Mum and Dad. And I'm sure they all have huge memories, as we all will. So keep those memories in your heart, cherish them, and share them. Thank you.
Well done, darling, well done. That's hard to do.
Well, we're just going through some technical difficulties.
I wasn't sure if I was going to step up, but I found something last week that gave me a lot of comfort, so I thought I'd share it. So, and I have a bit of an activity for everyone to do. So, if you Google the Perseids from Perseus, an image is going to pop up. That was NASA's image of the day from the night of the 11th to the 12th of August. And now something kind of special for one is this photo is gorgeous. I think it's very fitting for Nana. And I did a bit of research into the Perseids from Perseus because I thought it was so interesting. And It is one of the most beautiful asteroid showers of the year, it's said to be. Its height of showers was over that night. And now there's lots of interpretations of meteor showers. People see them as divine messages. A lot of people in history saw them as signs that souls were going home, as souls were being born. But something that really stuck with me as a message from Nana was that, so Perseus is known for a lot of things. The main thing he's known for is defeating Medusa and saving Andromeda. And now, a week after Nana, our family moved into a new home, and it was on Andromeda Parkway. And at the time, we didn't know this, but it just made me think that even if I can't see Nana, I know she was looking out for us in that, and I know she at least had some plate. So if you would like to, you can Google the Perseus from Perseus, because it is a beautiful image, and I think it's a very nice image for Nana's send-off.
Okay, stand up again. Sorry, I have to read this off my phone. I'm not particularly organised. Quite well. Yeah, so this is Gail, my mother's sister. She wrote this, and it's Kay's story. And the writing's tiny actually, so it might be a little bit slower. But
You want my handwritten one?
I'll have a go at this one first.
You want these, Joe?
No, it might take a little while. In loving the memory of Karen and Kay was the quiet thread that held so much together, never seeking the spotlight, yet always shining in her own gentle way. Born the middle child of 5, she carried a calm resilience that steadied those around her. Her hands were gifted in craft, her heart gorgeous beyond measure, and her love for Tim and their children, Dean, Tanya, and Jaden, was unwavering. Though distance separated us, she moved to Western Australia. Kay remained close in spirit. Her life was stitched with kindness, laughter, and the simple joys of family. She poured herself into her grandchildren, Corey, Lily, Ciel, Sophie, and Digby, adoring her treasured great-grandchildren, then leaving behind not just memories, but a legacy of love that will echo through generations. To know Kay was to quietly be careful. She didn't need grand gestures to show her love. It was in the way that she listened, the way she gave, the way she remembered. Her presence was a gift, and her absence is deeply felt. We honour her not just in words, but in the lives she touched. Her story lives on in each of us who carry her memory forward with gratitude, with tenderness, and with love. So that was what my auntie Sherry wrote. And
Auntie Gail.
sorry, Auntie Gail, not my auntie Sherry. Okay, and we also have this is from my auntie Gail again, in loving memory of Kay. Prepared with heartfelt remembrance by her sister Gail Te Awamutu, New Zealand, September 2025. Dedication to Corey, Lily, Ciel, Sophie, Dicky, Isabel and Oliver. Your Nana, Kay, lives in your laughter, your kindness and your courage. She saw each of you so precious, thread in the tapestry of her life. May you carry her wisdom gently and feel her presence in every warm breeze and quiet moment. Tribute to Kareen Kay, forever remembered, deeply loved. Kareen, known to many as Kay, was a master of the unseen, said to move as a shadow, knowing how to float under the radar, careful to draw no fire from our fiery tempered mother. She grew strong on molasses from a large barrel at the cowshed, and resilience became second nature. A large bone, spirited little cowgirl, she didn't flinch from a challenge. As a land girl, she worked alongside men, resourceful and wise, with practical hands and a heart full of grief. She was Solomon, like in her advice, and she passed that wisdom on to Dean, Tanya and Jacob. I missed out a bit on that, but she solved everything with quiet strength. She didn't make a fuss. She didn't need praise. She simply did what needed doing. She'll be sorely missed. She'll be forever remembered. Rest in peace, dear sister. So that's from my Auntie Gail. So thank you, Gail. And yeah, so if anyone else wants to have a word, please. No.
First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm a friend of Dean's and Jay's, and I went up to see Kay and Tim at Gidgee. I could tell you some stories that me and Dean used to get up to more than anything, but I just want to originate that Kay was a beautiful woman. She's always been in my heart, believe it or not, because every time I'd go up there, she would worry about Dean. I wouldn't worry about me. And on this one particular time that I went up there, Tim had some work to do on a windmill. We had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, jump in the back of the ute. But there was Kay, she made us a packed lunch and everything like that. Didn't worry about Dean, you know. Sorted me out. She sorted me out. And every time there's been like a fire or anything like that, bushfire up her way, I've always made sure that I've got hold of Dean, just to say that there's a fire up your way. Is your mum and dad okay? And I haven't seen Kay and Tim, it's got to be over 20 years, but I never forgot them. More so Tim, he's obviously grown up a bit more now, and I didn't recognise him at first. But they used to come down and see me in a restaurant, and I'd shout them a meal, because she liked her seafood. And I'd done a seafood platter for her. And then she'd come back again, and then again. Tim, yeah, because he didn't have to pay for it. So he was happy with it. But I just wanted to say that she will be sorely missed, and I thought that it was only right that I spoke up, because she was that person that you've said, and none of you know me like these two. I very rarely, I didn't even know that there was a sister. That's being truthful. Yeah, but that's being truthful. But you probably weren't around when because we used to go all sorts of times. Yeah. I was always running them up at Dean, even Christmas time, and then I took them to see my folks, and we got there absolutely paralytic drunk. Don't ask me how, I don't remember that too. But yeah, I just wanted to say that she will be sorely missed, yeah, and I just wanted to show that, you know, that she was a lovely person. Okay. Thanks.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. I'm not going to read that now, I'm just going to have a bit of a chat. I've been trying to compile something to say for a couple of weeks now, and every time I'd put pen to paper or start thoughts, and I'd break up, so I wasn't really good at making any formal speech. About 10 years ago, I took my family over to Sydney. We moved from Margaret River. So I've been separated from a lot of the mishaps and everything that's happened with Dad and more recently Mum. And I'd just like to say a huge thanks to my brother and sister, because they've been amazing. Yeah, thank you. And I'm sorry I haven't been here for you two and Dad as well. So, apologies. And, yeah, look, if Mum was here right now, she'd be saying, what's all the fuss about, you silly buggers? Get on with life. And more importantly, who's going to win the game on the weekend? So her team was the All Blacks. She loved the footy, and yeah, so that was one of her outs, I suppose. Yeah, an amazing woman. She'll be she'll be really missed by all. So, cheers, Mum. Miss you. Love you.
Times like this are not easy, but they're not meant to be. A memorial service is a little bit different from a funeral service with a casket, because we don't file past and leave memories or roses or whatever we love. All the beautiful lavender and, what is it? That's a rosary. I suddenly had a blank, oh, that's an older moment, that's fine. It's around, thank you, Shane, it's just beautiful to have flowers of remembrance. This beautiful display for Kay is just beautiful. And so, you know, it lives on in our hearts, but each one of us here, I imagine, will have lost somebody. For a start, we've lost Kay. But I'd like us all just to pause for a moment to think about those people that we have lost. Like Kay lost Mum and Dad. And then she lost Danny, brother. And I'd like to acknowledge poor Gail, Sister Gail, her husband, Mike, and that's dead. And for her cousin Beverly, her husband Dizzy, and his dead. And Louis, one of our lovely cousins, his dead. So we're all getting older, we're all dying off, so we need to talk about each other and celebrate each other and just live our life to the fullest. So I'd like to, just for us to pause for a moment, and even if you want to, just say the name out loud, or hold your loved one that you've lost in your hearts. Let's just pause for a moment in reflection.
Jim Chapman.
Yeah.
Love you, mate.
Cousin Buddy.
Yes, Jim.
And of course, Kay, all your four-footed little friends that you love so much. Well, I can't name them all, the family will have to do that. The last of whom was Bob, though.
Today, the first gift Bob was made by Sophie. Her favourite lady at the time was a lady called Bob.
Oh, I said there we got name. Oh dear. Kay, you're with those who have gone. And they are embracing you and gathering you into themselves now. And we are very confident that they are. You'll never be alone, and you'll never be forgotten. Precious Kay. So I'd like to read a poem. It's a day for poems. Kay wasn't much for poems, strangely enough. But too bad. This is a poem written by Glenn Golpoon, and it's called On the Death of My Grandmother. And I think it'll speak to you all. On the beach where I live last Sunday, 3 children built a sand person. She lay on her back with her arms by her sides, her feet slightly spread as though she were asleep. Her eyes were made of 2 round shells. Her lips were a stick from an ice block. The tide eyed her like seagulls stalking bread. She was both alive and dead at the same time. The first wave touched her arm, then ran to see what she'd do next. The second pulled a finger, but again she didn't stir. The third wave ran between her legs as though she were an old woman who'd wet herself, and she actually did, didn't she? The fourth circled her, taking a layer of sand equally from her right and her left, so that she remained the same shape as before, but somehow smaller. The fifth wave covered her, and in between its small currents turning, she seemed to move. The sixth wave took her lips. They floated out to sea. Her eyes sank into the back of her head. The seventh wave made her look younger. After the eighth wave, she was the idea of a person. The ninth wave wiped her off the beach like a cloth on a table where children had been eating cake. The 10th wave would never have known that she had been there in the first place. But I say she was. And everything I remember her. The one ice block stick, the 2 ordinary shells, in the story which has just been told, and in 10,000 small pieces of sand sprinkled widely through the great and restless ocean. Now we normally scatter Kay's ashes, but Karen's going to have them made into a necklace.
A diamond.
A diamond.
Oh, but just a rough one.
And she's a rough diamond, and she's going to have Kay close to her heart for the rest of her life. And so, before we eat and drink and talk and laugh and cry and share memories of Kay, I'd like to just finish with this one little blessing for you all to take away in your hearts, and especially you, Tim. May the soft light at the end of the day heal you. May the purr of the sea on the shelves of the beach heal you. May the dance of the wind on the grass of the dunes heal you. May the Creator of water and air and fire heal you all as you walk the earth. Amen. Let's look at some photos. And gather and eat and drink. Food will be served, and share time with each other.
Leah's always asked me a question, is how you've always said that you're too young to be called Tim, right?
No, too young.
Sorry, too young to be called Granddad. Call you Tim. What about when you were a great granddad?
Yeah. Oh, you mean for the great grandchild?
Yeah, that's
Timothy.
that's due September.
Are you really?
Ah.
Oh, pretty